Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting a like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now, today's first story comes from Cheesecake Queen from the Am I the Arsehole Here subreddit. And says, Am I the Arsehole Here? For telling my fiance I don't want his last name or his mum at our wedding. Alternate title, my fiance called me a woke whore and left me for his mum. Last December, my fiance, male 25, and I, female 23, became engaged. The engagement itself was very unexpected and felt very sudden, as we only been dating for 2 years since. However, I accepted as I love him and I couldn't imagine a future without him in it. Since our engagement, we've had several wedding-related conversations. And I've expressed to him numerous times that I would like to keep my maiden name and not adopt his. The reason for this is that my parents never had any sons and I am an only child. I want to carry on the family name for my parents and I want my children to have the choice of which last name they want to go by, or both. I've expressed all of this to my fiance and he complied and reassured me that he was okay with my decision on the matter. As the wedding draws closer, I received a call from the cake planner last night regarding our cake, which we had met with him and designed a few weeks prior. He informed us that he had a sample prepared for us to come and see, so we drove there the next morning to sample it. Needless to say, I was a bit shocked when he pulled out the cake, which had the words Mr. and Mrs. Smith, my husband's last name, printed on top. Thinking it was an accident, though I'd strictly told him to just write Mr. and Mrs. on the cake, I asked him to correct it for the final wedding cake for our wedding, which was in 2 weeks. He informed me that my fiance called him yesterday morning and had asked him to include Smith on top, along with the previous initials. On the car ride home, my fiance informed me that he was not comfortable with me keeping my last name, and that he had a conversation with his mother 2 days prior, in which she informed him it was feminine, weak, and woke, for him to comply to my wishes, and that he was signing himself up for an abusive marriage. Talking with the rest of the wedding planning staff, I found out he was also instructed that the table centerpieces, official handouts, etc. all be changed to have Mr. and Mrs. Smith on them instead of our separate last names, with the help from his mother. After our argument, I informed him that I would call off the wedding if he did not comply with my wishes, and that I didn't want his mother attending our wedding ceremony either way. He moved out and refuses to talk to me since. Am I the arsehole here? So there was a lot of comments asking OP for additional information, which OP replies to. So first commenter says, OP's parting comment should be better a woke whore than a pathetic little sunspun. OP says, I might use this. Next commenter says, can I ask how this wasn't apparent before? Has there never been any hard conversations? Any disagreement that your fiance talked to his mum and followed what she said? Regardless, for my wife and I, family is important, and if we couldn't get along with each other's families, it would be a deal breaker. It can't be a your family or me situation. You guys have to be in agreement on how to navigate family issues while supporting each other and maintaining a healthy relationship. OP responded saying, I have no idea. We've had many conversations about this topic as well as political beliefs, religion, etc. He claimed to align with everything I did. Only recently, he started coming out with polar opposite views and sneaking around. He's shown some slight jealousy of me in the past, which I suppose could be a red flag. I'm a model, and he frequently brings it up in conversation that he's insecure about it. But other than that, everything else has been really minor problems. His mum, she has a history of interference. And then OP was responding to a different commenter and says, you're right, the man I was engaged to was nothing like this. Honestly, I feel like I don't even know him anymore. And the thought just makes me sad. I need to call off the wedding. To another commenter, OP says, my future husband and I are both liberals, and we've had many conversations about our political beliefs and opinions regarding last names specifically. I thought we were both on the same page. He has not expressed discomfort or insecurity with my decision to keep my last name until now, and it just feels so unexpected and out of the blue. Another commenter says to OP, not the arsehole here. That right there is a guy who's trying to marry his mum, not you. Fuck a bullet, that's a nuke and you best dodge it. Think about how he and his mother will try to control your life and your future children's lives. Run girl, run. Opie says, I really thought I loved him. I just don't know anymore. I can't imagine a future being tied down to a man that doesn't agree with me though. Commenter replies saying, your conscience is right. Imagine how much say he and his mother would allow a woke whore over whether she went out to work and had financial independence, over how to raise any children, or whether to have children. Cut yourself loose. Your conscience won't do you wrong. Opie says, you're right. His mother is definitely not my cup of tea, and while I thought I could ignore it, this is definitely over the line. Commenter says, info. Who's financing the wedding, please? Because he's looking like a homosexual choosing beggar. Opie says, I was financing a majority of the wedding. We have a shared saving fund we are both contributing to, however. I have a higher income than he does, and offer to pay more. Opie responding to someone else saying, yes, I have a steady income modeling, own my own place, and have spent the last however many months budgeting and saving for this wedding. My now ex-fiance was just helping me pay bills from my home by contributing some of his income. Someone says, he called you a whore. He doesn't love or respect you. That alone would be a deal breaker for me. Run while you still can. Throw a I dodged a bullet party in a place of the reception, or have the food donated to a local homeless shelter. Opie says giving the food to a homeless shelter is an awesome idea. Thank you. I'll definitely check it out. Commenter says, I'm stuck on the cake thing. Bakers don't bake an entire wedding cake as a sample. Did you actually buy 2 cakes? Opie says the baker was a fairly close acquaintance of ours, and he baked a very small scaled model of what our cake would look like for us, so we could better visualize it in comparison with the rest of our decor. He went above and beyond, and the model size cake was delicious. The lettering, however, was not. Then responding to someone else, he says, he's my fiance's high school best friend, and he's an extremely sweet guy. Opie then edited the post itself and said, to clarify, I gave him the opportunity to do couples counselling as well as agreeing that we could do joint last names on any future children's birth certificates, along with trying to have a rational conversation with him. The argument started when he called me a woke whore for my decision, the one he had previously agreed to, and that's when I told him it may be in our best interest to call off the wedding and ban his mother. The main reason I'm upset is not because of his desire for me to take his last name, that he originally told me he was fine with it, and then went behind my back and changed things against my wishes. Now this is one of those situations that, of course, is incredibly sad for Opie to go through. That's horrific, but at the same time I'm glad it's happening now rather than when they are actually married, or any children are involved or anything like that. And the story's always crazy where these mum and son relationships always get out of control, and it felt like some of the comments said that this is only going to get worse in the future. I mean, he's calling you a woke whore now and disregarding and disrespecting any decisions that you want, going behind your back to have things changed already. Can you imagine the boundary stomping when a child is involved at the same time? Like the comment says, bullet dodged. So OP comes in with an update and says, yesterday evening, I made the decision to text my fiance and call off the wedding. I text him the following message. Hey, I just want to let you know that the wedding is off. Please inform your relatives and friends that the only Mrs. Smith they will find standing near the aisle will be your mum. I will mail back your ring to your mother's address, but please do not get in touch with me after this, or this woke whore will take your sorry ass to court. To which he responded with a long profession of his love, including several, I didn't mean it as well as it was an accident. I left this message on read and comfortably blocked his number. However, I didn't expect to receive a call from his mother an hour later, who ran her mouth at me over the phone and called me a crazy bitch and informed me that she was going to make my life a living hell for what I did to her son. I already made plans to change my lock and install a front porch camera, but should I be doing anything else to protect myself? I am also receiving nasty messages from my ex-fiance's friends, threatening me for my decision. I will plan to donate any/all food to a nearby homeless shelter, and I like other users' ideas to contact the baker and have the lettering changed to woke whore instead. I will also contact any of my own friends and family about the cancellation and give my best explanation, as well as cancelling the venue, photographer, etc. Thank you all. OP was very responsive in this thread as well. Someone says, OP, good for you. I'd keep any messages and voicemails and take them to the police for a restraining order. She seems unhinged. I'd also make a simple post or send a message that anyone interested in trying to harass you would have some explaining to do to the police. You literally dodged a bullet, and good for you for not putting up with that bullshit. Opie said thank you. I've already printed out several screenshots and recorded voicemails just in case I need them in the unfortunate event that this escalates even more. Commenter says, do you have a friend or family member who can come stay with you for a few days? Just in case X or mummy shows up. Opie says I do. My parents will be staying with me until I can install new locks and cameras. Commenter says, might be a good idea to stay with family until you get the cameras set up. Up to you if you want to unblock him, but leave him on red to gather more evidence, just in case you do have to take this to the police. Unsure how unbalanced his family and friends are, but may want to notify your work that this is going on so they can be as mindful as well. Hopefully this is all overkill, but better to be safe than sorry. Treat it like a divorce. Record yourself gathering anything of his that was at your place and have someone else deliver it to him. Opie says my work is going to be one of my biggest concerns. I work at an agency that I do modeling work for. I've been doxxed because of it in the past and forced to move. I may talk to my employer there, whom I am very close with, just so he's aware of the situation. I'll keep this all in mind. Thank you. Opie comes in with another mini update and says my ex-fiance's mum just now texted me, informing me that my fiance had been cheating with a girl from his high school during the entire length of our relationship. In her text, she included several suggestive screenshots of conversations my fiance and said girl had together. I left her on red. My self-esteem is crushed. Everything else was the icing for this massive slice of shit cake. I've never felt more confused, used, broken and betrayed as I do right now. I feel so physically sick, I want to die. Someone says to OP, wow, your fiance and mum are a real piece of work. I'm so sorry that you're being made to suffer in this way by them. Hopefully you can find the time to reflect on how much better your life will be without these toxic, woman-hating people in your life. Even if it's not the life you thought it was going to be, it will be a better one. And a million congrats to you for having the courage to call off the wedding so late and last minute, not caving to his weak attempts to apologize and for withstanding the harassment from his friends and family. You're such a strong person. You're already so much better off, and you'll even be happier and better off as time goes on. Opie says thank you. That means a lot. It sounds like either way, I was always plan B in my fiance's life. The only plan B I'm willing to take is a pill to prevent myself from having kids and subjecting them to this piece of shit father. In that second update, I know it's not the point of the post, but I was thinking, why's mother got these screenshots, suggestive screenshots of the conversations between the fiance and the girl he cheated with? Why's she got a hold of these? All sorts of creepy vibes right there, but like the comment said, OP, you are much better off without this person in your life. Could you imagine the future without mother in your life? Because even if he said, she wouldn't come to the wedding, she'd worm her way back into your lives and, it would just literally be hell. So you will be much better off without them. And I do wish you all the best going forward. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. Now our next story comes from SVVVG, who says, am I the arsehole here for refusing to let my sister move in and take my master bedroom because she had to break her lease? My female 22, sister female 24, works fly in, fly out in the Australian mines. Big money for 5+. She's had many shared leases with people over the years. She's struggling to find a roommate at the moment. About a month ago, we had a casual conversation about the idea of her staying at a place I'm renting with my partner, male 24. Important detail, me and my partner have separate rooms as we need our own space and it works for our sleeping schedules. A couple of ideas were thrown around. I offered the spare room, which is very small and can only fit a bed. She proposed taking my master bedroom and offered to pay more, which means me and my partner would have to share or one of us move into the tiny room. I said I would like to talk to my partner about this and get back to her. As a couple of days ago, she told me the landlord is not allowing a second person. For context, I left abruptly from a toxic workplace and now on mental health leave. She straight up texts me, I don't want to stress you out more, but when can I move in? Lol. Told her I would sleep on it. Then the next day she texts, 2 weeks to move in? I had a talk with my partner and we agreed it's better if she takes the spare bedroom, as she's 2 weeks on at a mining job and 1 week off. I called her and said she can have the spare bedroom. Then she had the audacity to say she's moving into my master bedroom because she will pay more. I said absolutely fucking not, because the room will be empty for 2 weeks at a time. And on top of that, she's unclean and untidy. My worry is that she will leave my room disgusting. She did not take this well and said that I agreed to her taking my room, which didn't happen. Today she blew up my phone with texts saying I'm petty for not letting her have my room and that she deserves luxuries. Also, she doesn't want to come home to a tiny room after living in one at work. I'm a young person who is finally living in my own place after being in shitty living situations. Why does she feel entitled to take my room and disrupt my life for her convenience? I know she's my sister and I understand her situation and feel for her, but this can't be the solution. Am I the arsehole? OP, first consider this. She hasn't even moved into your place yet, and look at the absolute audacity that she's showing you. If you allow her to move in, you will lose that room at some point. I've seen this too many times on the entitled people subreddits. I couldn't imagine speaking to any of my brothers like that. Trying to put that myself in this situation with my brothers and they offered me the smaller room, I'd be thankful. I'd be, oh hell yeah, thank you so much for that, and make their lives as easy as possible, not difficult, and be entitled to things, saying that she deserves luxuries. If you want those luxuries, fuck off somewhere else. My bro would slap me upside the head if I spoke to him like that, but Dry Sandwich says this is not going to work. You know you'd be crazy to let her move in. Don't do it. She'll pull this drama every time she wants something. It will create problems in your relationship. Tell her it's not going to work. She will push back and tell her that the way she's behaving right now is a sign that it can't possibly work. You're on stress leave from work and can't have this at home. Opie says you are totally right. She's being entitled. I do feel bad about setting this boundary, even though I shouldn't. Livy Angel says absolutely not okay. Your sister is being an entitled brat. You and your partner even were kind enough to say she could stay with you knowing you both have things to do and are busy individuals. Your physical, mental, and emotional health matter the most and are your top priority. Your sister has never been told no, it seems. You're not the arsehole, and your sister has no right to force you to let her in. One more comment from Fruitfly, who says not the arsehole at all, but now she shouldn't move in at all. Why does she deserve luxuries but you don't? What a weird thing to say. You two had a discussion. It wasn't final, and when she and you did finalize the details, well, you offered her as the spare bedroom. She can take it or leave it. End of story. If I was in a jam, your offer would be wonderful. And if I wasn't in a jam, I might decline because I wanted more space. And then I'd go and rent a place with more space. It really is that easy. But now your sister has made it clear she'll be a terrible person to live with. She deserves luxuries like your bedroom, meaning you don't deserve nice things, but she does. And she is also demonstrating an infinity for gaslighting, lying, misremembering conversations, aka you agreed to offer when in fact you only listened to her offer. And she is messy, and you have a recipe for disaster. She is demanding your space, saying she deserves it more, bullying you or lying to you to get her way, and will probably leave a mess behind. Disaster avoided, don't let her move in at all. So OP came in with her update and said, thanks for all the comments and validation. Really gave me some perspective. Here's the update. Just for your information, this is my partner's account as I don't have my own. My sister and I have had a rocky relationship since forever, due to childhood trauma. I've cut her off many times due to this kind of disrespect and breaking of boundaries. I'm not perfect myself, but I want this relationship to work. Our phone conversation ended in a screaming match where I stated she will only get the spare room, but she insisted it was unfair because she would pay more money. She later texted me a photo of a workmate holding up the middle finger with text saying, "Name, you are being petty, lol." I text back in the fashion many of you suggested. OP says, tell him he's a, see you next Tuesday. OP also said, you're a guest at my home, you're not taking the master bedroom, that'll be empty for 2 weeks. She replied, you cannot keep using the excuse it'll be empty for 2 weeks. How the fuck do you think I've had roommates before? And how anyone that does fly in, fly out, have roommates before, like I'm gonna go and live in a small town for my break, as well as going back to work and living in a small room again, like awesome, no luxuries, sweet. OP says, You are not a roommate. I'm doing you a favor by letting you have a roof over your head for a short while. You don't get luxuries when it's your only option. Also, my luxuries get taken away in my house because you say so. You're very out of touch with the average full-time young adult living in a stranger's room because that's their only option. Absolutely not fair. I finally have something to myself after 3 years of shit. Sister replied, girl, you aren't the very last and only option, lol. You're just the easiest. Opie says, okay, then my offer is off the table. Opie then says, would I be the arsehole if I cut off this bitch again? Absolutely not the arsehole. I always ask the question in these kind of stories as what is this person offering to you in terms of a relationship? The way it reads, it just sounds like they get in contact with you when they need something. They try and walk all over you, they're rude to you, etc. And just someone that contributes no love or anything into your life. Why would you want that? And as always, I know that's very easy for me to say, reading the story here. They're having to live it, etc. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What would you do if you was OP? Would you cut that person off? Let us know your thoughts. And just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.